the show and I want to make it fun, and I had to do my project, and I wanted to choose something interesting. And you know what I chose was like old Korean movies. You know, one day I was just on YouTube and I saw this link. It was called the Korean Film Archive, right? And it's got all the most important Korean films that's ever been made, right on YouTube for free.
Really?
So I just picked one randomly and started watching it, and I couldn't believe how good it was. I mean, it's very different from Hollywood movies.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Hollywood movies, you know, big budget, you know, CGI, things like that. They've always had good special effects.
Right,
but Korean movies are, you know, they rely on good writing, good acting.
Right, they have like that, like emotional, like in-depth, like I can't explain. You guys have to watch the movies, I guess. Yeah,
but anyway, so like I started to watch them and I couldn't believe how good it was.
Yeah.
But every time I tried to talk to a Korean about these movies, I'm like, "Have you seen Black Republic? It's from 1990." They're like, "No, I haven't seen that." I was like, "Have you seen Kinship? It was made in the 60s." And they were like,
"No."
What? You know, Koreans in general, if it's not new, they don't like it.
Yes, I mean, same for me. Like, same for me. I'm not the biggest fan of like long time ago movies. Like, maybe the oldest movie I've ever watched was like Rush Hour, maybe. Like, to be honest, guys, like I'm a huge fan of Rush Hour though. Like,
that's a great movie. And like, you know, like when I was a teacher, my elementary students, they would come up to me and they'd say, "Ben, teacher, what kind of phone do you have?" I'd say, "I have a, you know, LG." And they say, "Is it LTE?" I'd say, "4G?"
4G,
I'd say, "No, it's 3G." And they would say, "Oh." So Koreans really like new things.
Right. And I know a lot of our listeners are curious, Ben. How are you and the girls going? Any girlfriends or?
I have friends who are girls.
Yeah, friends who are girls.
I'm too busy to change the word around.
You're too busy to change the word around. All right.
What about you?
Me? You know, same thing with me. I'm too busy to change the word around, so you know.
So that's a no?
That's a no.
I think you just made the day of a lot of female listeners. I think they're very happy right now.
I hope so. And last week, guys, Ben gave us a hint for the person of this week, but left us hanging. So it's time to reveal this week's star for Who's Following Now. And before we do that, what was last week's hint one more time?
All right. Well, we had 3 hints.
Right.
The first one was, this singer is just as famous, if not more famous, than Rihanna.
Right.
Okay, because we talked about her last week. The second hint was Kermit the Frog, because this person wore Kermit the Frog outfit recently. It was outrageous.
Right.
And the third one was Poker Face.
Oh.
Sorry.
All right, I think I know who it is. I guess, can you, do you want to...
Yeah, it's Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, guys. Yes. Actually, one of my members, Ren, he's the guy with, like, the long blonde hair.
Yeah.
He is, like, the biggest fan of Lady Gaga, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he's a huge fan of Beyonce and Lady Gaga.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he's
like, a little monster.
He knows everything about Lady Gaga.
Well, their fans are called little monsters.
Little monsters?
So
really?
Does he refer to himself as a little monster?
He doesn't.
He doesn't?
Yeah.
You should ask him about that.
I should.
He'll know what that means.
Yeah, I'll ask him about that today. And I guess, do you want to give us a little background on
Yeah, we got
Lady
some information here. Basically, you know, okay, she came to New York and she was at she wanted to start writing songs and make it in the business. She dropped out of university. I think she was at NYU.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think she was enrolled at New York University.
NYU.
Yeah. And so she just dropped out and she started writing songs for people like Britney Spears.
Wow.
Pussycat Dolls.
Wow.
Oh, New Kids on the Block? Really? Wow. And Fergie.
She wrote
she wrote for Fergie as well.
That's pretty crazy.
So that's how she kind of broke into the business. She started working for Interscope Records.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
But at the time, you know, she did a couple of, like, she was on some MTV show. It was
really?
It was like a gag show where before she was Lady Gaga.
Right.
She was just trying to, you know, she was just a starving artist, right?
Right.
And at that time, so anyways, in the show,
right,
she's at a restaurant. Right. And some person comes, the waiter comes in, and she's eating her sandwich, and she goes to the bathroom.
Right. And
so he takes it away. And she comes back, she's like, "Where's my sandwich?"
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were done with it." You know, and she's just getting really mad. Anyways, it was really cool to see her before she was Lady Gaga.
Yeah, actually, long time when I was in high school, I actually went to what they call hagwons.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
after schools, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like a officially sanctioned school. It's just a place for you to study, right? You pay the money and they tutor you, right?
Right, and I went there for my SAT actually, and my teacher, he actually knew who Lady Gaga was. They actually were.
Yeah, really?
They actually met each other for a little bit. Yeah, and before she became Lady Gaga actually. So I mean, I thought that was pretty interesting. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Sorry, guys. And
what she was like before the fame.
Yeah, and I guess, can you let us know what Lady Gaga is up to these days? I guess, what is she up to now?
Well, actually, she's had a bit of a bump in the road.
Really?
Yeah, she had something a little bit tragic happen. She was on her Born This Ball tour.
Right.
She was on the Born This Ball tour, and she had been having a lot of joint pain, like in her hip.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she couldn't take it anymore. She was hiding it from her producers and
Wow.
and everybody, and from her label.
Right.
But the pain got so bad she couldn't take it anymore.
Right.
And she had to cancel shows in the middle of the tour to have surgery.
Oh, surgery. So she's in the middle of recovery, I guess, right now?
Yeah, she's in the middle of recovery. And when I was looking through her SNS stuff, and
right.
there were lots of articles about her, like, oh no, is Lady Gaga finished? Because apparently she walked around somewhere, and she had her head down, and the pictures look really sad.
Really?
And I don't doubt she was really sad, but
right. I mean, I can tell. Yeah.
So there was all these articles about, like, oh, is Lady Gaga finished?
No,
her
guys.
spirit's broken,
Guys.
But it's not true.
Lady Gaga is incredible, guys. No.
She's incredible.
No, she will not go down, guys.
She's not going out like that.
Yeah, no.
So she's been tweeting lots of positive stuff, and, and she was just so sorry. She had this to say about to her fans.
Right, what
she said? To fans in Chicago, Detroit, and Hamilton, those are the 3 shows she canceled.
Oh, right.
I hope you can forgive me, as it's nearly impossible for me to forgive myself. I'm devastated and sad.
Oh, no, Lady Gaga.
So she apologized to her little monsters.
Yeah, oh. Lady Gaga, I hope you are successful in your recovery, and I hope you can perform for your fans soon.
She even paid for, there was a fan who had to have a really complicated surgery on her hip, like hip reconstruction, and she paid for it.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And like for me, actually, we actually had a concert in, was it Korea or Japan? I think it was in Korea actually. And before we made our comeback with the Yoboseo, and actually during the rehearsal, a few hours before the show, I actually pulled my hamstring on stage, and like I had to go to the hospital and like get shots and like everything, and like I couldn't dance that well that day, like just small little moves, but I mean my fans are like really like worried about me, like, are you okay? Like so yeah, I mean,
oh man, that must have been tough.
Yeah, it was definitely like one of the toughest, most toughest situations for me. Like it was like, oh, what am I gonna do like in front of my fans? Like, what if I can't perform today?
Because they paid money and they came to see the person that they love. They want to see the good show. I know you must feel that, right?
Yeah, so like I definitely know where Lady Gaga's coming from. So I hope she makes a quick recovery.
Oh, but by the way, I'm sorry, I have to interject. You said something about Yoboseo, your song?
Yeah.
Last night, I was in a PC room, an internet cafe, because I was working on my project until late, and I was just, wallowing in self-pity, like, oh, this is terrible. I want this to be over. And I'm just trying to get through it, because, so there were this group of Korean guys behind me playing StarCraft online, all together, right? And then suddenly, one of them, he just turns on his music, and I hear this, Yoboseo. So I just was writing the music to your song.
Oh, really?
And it brought a big smile on my face, and I was like, I can get through this.
All right,
I can do this.
I'm glad I made your day.
It was inspirational, like heaven opened up.
I'm glad I gave you motivation then. All right, guys, let's listen to one of Lady Gaga's songs before we pick one more star to talk about. And the song we will listen to is Born This Way by Lady Gaga. Hey guys, we just came back from listening to Born This Way by Lady Gaga, and you're listening to the second hour of Music Access with me, Aron of New East. Who's following now? Today we're following Lady Gaga. Let's take a look at her first connection. And Ben, I guess who is her first connection?
Sir Elton John.
Really?
Yes, Sir Elton John. So he's one of the greatest divos. We're gonna say divo because he's a man, not diva.
Not a diva.
He's a man, so we're gonna call him a divo.
Right.
He's one of the most influential singers of all time.
Right. He's
straight up
pioneer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like legend.
Legend sold just millions of copies and of his albums and everything. And he's had such a an influence on other artists over the years.
Yeah, I mean definitely.
Yeah, and he's Sir Elton John.
Sir Elton John.
So that means he was knighted.
He was knighted.
He was knighted. Yeah, seriously.
By who?
By the Queen of England.
Really?
It was knighted by the Queen of England. So his name officially is Sir Elton John. So he was knighted in 1998 for his selfless good works, including his AIDS Foundation. He made this really great AIDS Foundation. Yeah.
Really? What a great guy.
Yeah. He's I'm a big fan of his. Growing up, listening to his songs, and he a few years back when Eminem had a big controversy about his lyrics and things like that.
Right.
Elton John reached out to him, and that song Eminem made "Stand,"
right,
where it had Dido singing in the background.
Yeah.
He sampled from Dido's song, right?
Right.
Well, okay. So, anyways, they performed at the Grammys together.
Right.
And Elton John sang that part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sang the part from the refrain and the chorus. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, "Stan" is definitely one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. The song is ridiculous. Anyways, I guess how are Lady Gaga and I guess Elton John, how are they connected?
Well, now that you ask, actually, Lady Gaga is the godmother of Elton John's 2 sons.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, she's the godmother. They have a great relationship,
Oh, really? I guess, did they know each other before, I guess?
Yeah, they've known each other for a long time because, Lady Gaga is very active in the, equal rights, movement and, civil treatment for everyone. And Elton John is the same thing. They're both philanthropists.
Right.
They do a lot of charity work.
Yeah.
Right? So they do that together, and they've been friends a long time. They have a very close relationship, actually.
Really? Wow, that's pretty crazy. Elton John and Lady Gaga, I did not expect that. That is
they're like family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's really cool, that.
Yeah.
Because you know that she's, one time I saw her do a cover of "Viva la Vida" by Coldplay.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of music Lady
John.
Gaga loves that kind of music. That's the kind of music that Elton John made, right?
Right.
And so they have the same interest and causes,
right.
But also I think musically they she's probably influenced by him,
right?
Because he was there for rock and roll, right?
Right. I mean, he's the pioneer.
That was he was a pioneer.
And I guess, do you think Lady Gaga? I guess, do you think Elton John gave Lady Gaga a lot like advice? I guess. To
yes,
her?
Definitely. It really seems like that's the kind of relationship they have, like almost like she's a little sister, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, it really seems that way. And like he's oppa or something.
He's like oppa.
But yeah, so they have a really close relationship, and they're friends on Twitter, and they're friends in real life, and they're in contact a lot. And she is the godmother of his children. Right. But also there's some some interesting things about Elton John outside of music.
Really?
First we mentioned his AIDS Foundation, and he's done so much over the years for equal civil rights for people in that movement. And he was also, I don't know how many people out there will know about this fact, but he was the owner of Watford FC, which was a Premier League team in England. He was the owner. He's a huge Watford fan, right? Okay, not Manchester United, not Chelsea, not Arsenal, not Liverpool, not the big names, right? He was a Watford fan ever since he was a kid.
Really?
So when he got rich and famous, he bought the club. Team. Yeah.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's that's like my dream come true.
Wow. So I guess are you a huge fan of like soccer, football?
Yeah, I love it. So I would know that, wouldn't I?
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess moving on from Elton John, I guess who's our next friend, I guess, on Twitter?
We have Mick Jagger. The lead singer of the Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones. Guys, if you don't know who the Rolling Stones are, They are like legendary.
Legendary
Band. Yeah, guys. They're kind of old though. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, they're old,
Yeah.
but they can still rock. They did the Super Bowl